Let me see if I can. Oh, there we go. Okay, so hi guys. Today is, I don't even know what the date is. I think
21st.
Something like that. Every day kind of seems the same at the moment. My poor little Abby's struggling a lot with her poor wisdom teeth. She's in so much pain. But I'm getting up to her every 3 hours at the moment, every night, to keep on top of the pain meds. So it's basically like having a newborn baby. I'm usually asleep by now, so I'm like, stay awake, come on. But she did improve a lot this afternoon, so fingers crossed she's hopefully on the mend. So first of all, I just wanted to cover a couple of things before we get into those topics that you girls commented on the post, which was awesome because you know, we can cover stuff on training, but sometimes it's not relevant. So I really like to ask you girls to have a bit of an input so that we can serve you the best that we can and cover topics that you're facing, whether it's struggles or challenges or whatever that might be. So thanks for putting those comments in, those girls who did that. But first of all, the re-promote that we're doing for this month, there's a couple of you who have already got it ticked off, so that's pretty cool. And there's some that are like halfway through, and it's just over halfway through the month. So I'd definitely be trying to get that ticked off because it's just an awesome way that you can get those extra 1,000 points going through your business, but also, you know, picking up that extra whatever it might be. Like if you're at SC on the top commission level, that's over $300 that you're going to be putting in your bank account a couple of weeks before Christmas. So everything that you do in this month, you're going to get paid like 2 weeks before Christmas. So, you know, that could hopefully use that as a little bit of inspiration and encouragement, maybe even to step out of your comfort zone or double the follow-ups or the conversations that you're having that you usually do in your DMO. You maybe try and double that so that you can just really get that extra money landing in your bank account and have a really clear vision of what that could be for you. Like even if it's buying a couple of nice bottles of champagne to put on the Christmas, on the table on Christmas, or, you know, whatever that might be, being able to spoil your mum or your partner or whatever, that little bit more just by you doing some extra work this month that's going to really help you to get that extra $500 or whatever that might be. So yeah, I think that's, you know, a really good focus that you can have for the month of November. And while I'm talking about that, I might just cover one of the comments that Marie asked about leading into Christmas. And, you know, coming up to people being on holidays, and I think she might be going away where she doesn't have any internet. So, you know, how can you keep building your business over the Christmas holidays? And I remember when I first started in the business, it was in October, and I got to SDVF in December, and I was thinking exactly the same. Oh, sorry. SC, I think it was at the end of December. It was like a couple of days before Christmas. And I remember thinking exactly that, like, oh, why did I kind of start the business in October? You know, no one's going to really be wanting to have another expense of Juice Plus, or no, I'm not going to be able to attract customers, or no one's going to want to join my team. And if you kind of flip it around, and I think it might have been I think it was actually Eric Worre that I was listening to, and he was saying, if you're treating this like a business, do you close your shop doors like over Christmas? Do you shut for that 6 weeks of the school holidays? If you owned a cafe or if you owned whatever other kind of business, would you shut the doors? And it's like, the answer is no. Yeah, Kate, exactly. Katie was October as well. And, you know, you just have to kind of flip that and go, you know what? No, I wouldn't shut my business over Christmas. Like, that would be crazy. Why would I do that? That's like 2 whole months out of 12 that you're not going to be having a business for. You're not going to be having that income. And we all know in this business, it's all about being consistent. And if you're not being consistent and not turning up for all of the school holidays, or, you know, it's going to be reflective in a couple of months down the track. And that's what I've really found, even in the last 6 months. Like, a couple of months ago, I wasn't being consistent. I wasn't just following my schedule and listening to stuff. And a couple of months down the track, it was really reflective. Like my business just kind of plateaued. And when you look back, it's like, okay, that's what happened. You know, I wasn't doing as much as I had previously. And like we heard Kira talk about today, it's not being consistent now is not going to repel your or make your business grow tomorrow. You know, it's 2, 3, 4, sometimes 6 or 12 months down the track that it's going to be reflective in your business. So I think if you keep that in mind, and when you're on holidays, like I always think it's a perfect time. When I was in Hawaii, I was chatting to people when they're out and about and kind of changing my mindset from people aren't going to be interested, or how am I going to talk to people? It's holidays, they don't have money, whatever, to thinking that people are so relaxed, they're happy. Like, how do you feel when you're on holidays? You hardly have any stress. The biggest stress is like where you're going to go out for dinner that night. So other people are feeling exactly the same. So it's a perfect opportunity to, when you're around the pool, you know, have those conversations with people about what they're up to, where they're from, you know, then go into the work part and what do you do for work and things like that. And that's just a perfect way for you to be able to then share what you're all about, and, you know, add them to Facebook, even though you might not have social media or internet there at the time. Ask them what their name is. I know if it's a pretty common name, yes, it would be hard to try and find them on Facebook if there's a million Mary Janes. But it's all about just building those relationships with people and having those conversations. And I know Beck asked about you know, those kind of quality questions, like how do we ask those quality questions and what are they? And there's actually in the freestyle in the freestyle albums, you'll see some training links, and on one of those training links, it has a whole thing about quality questions. I think Kira said that a lot of them were from Linda that she's just kind of relayed into Team Freestyle, but there's heaps of them in there. There's like probably 50 or something, and they're basically, you know, we know the ones that Adam always talks about when you're out and about, and what he kind of does, like how long have you been working here for, do you enjoy your job, you know, and then usually they'll come around and ask you the same kind of thing. So that's when that's giving you permission to share a little bit about what you're up to. And I think all of you, I'm sure by now, have realized how important it is to have your story. And if you don't realize how important it is to have a story and say it confidently, with certainty, that's your number one priority that you really should be doing and mastering. And Kira was talking about it today. Say it to your 2-year-old, like, you know, stuff it up. They're not going to care. Record yourself. See how you sound. See what you need to change about it. But you really need to get that just 100% mastered. You need to come across saying it with certainty so that people can really, you know, feel attracted to that. Because if you're coming across and saying it not too sure, and oh my God, what do I say, you know, this is where I always stuff up, and you're not being confident and positive about it, they're going to feel that straight away. And it's like, oh, okay, that's really cool, let's move on to the next kind of thing. Whereas if you say it really inspiring and positive and with certainty, that's going to be so much more attractive. So I think it's really important that you master that skill. And then those other quality questions are just about, you know, like we're building that relationship with people where we're just having genuine, showing genuine interest in them. It's not all about us, and that's what people want to do, right? They want to talk about themselves. So if you're asking them questions, they're going to feel so important, and they're going to feel like, wow, this girl actually really cares about me, because it's not very often these days that people are wanting to know about you, right? They're all into me, this is what I did, and then they'll walk away. And I'm really conscious of that now, just from being in this business, that I really notice when I run into people and they just talk about themselves and then walk away. It's like, wow, I don't want that kind of person in my business. It's so weird, because I never would have been conscious of that before. But because now we know that that's not what we want to be. We don't want to be that kind of person. We want to be the total opposite, where we're actually showing a genuine interest and we want people to talk about themselves, because that's what people like doing, talking about themselves. So yeah, I think that's kind of where you need to go with the mindset and asking those questions. But also check out that albums on Team Freestyle. And Marie, I hope that covered a little bit about being on holidays and the festive season and stuff. I think if you really want to keep your business going and having that momentum, you can't stop and start. You just need that wheel to be continuously flowing and going along, because that's when your business is going to start getting that momentum. If you kind of are having good weeks and bad weeks, which yes, we all have, like I've had them as well, but that's when you grow. When you have a shitty day and it's like, oh my God, I don't feel like I don't feel like messaging these people, or I don't feel like following up with my customers or people who have reached out to me a couple of days ago. That's when you really need to get to work, and that's when you really will grow, because you're getting out of your comfort zone. You're doing it just because you know that you need to, and figure out your hard, right? Like, that could be hard for us in our business, but is it harder having to work an extra day to get that money coming in, or is it easier to have those conversations with people when you don't feel like having them? So hopefully that kind of covers that area of it. And think of it like, we've got so many of those images that I put into Team Believe just a couple of days ago about the fast cash for Christmas. And there's heaps of people, right, who are struggling right now, who are stressing about Christmas coming up, who don't have that money, and reach out to them and come from a place of genuine caring that, hey, I'm not sure if you've noticed what I'm up to, or I couldn't help to think, but maybe this could be something for you. You don't want to obviously say, I know you're struggling with money or anything like that, but just let them know that this could be something that they could really be interested in, that could help them get that extra $1,000 leading up to Christmas. There's a really good call that I just came across the other day. Sharon Anios did it with 2 other of her teamies. It wasn't like an invite event, but it was just the 3 of them on the call, and it was just a fast cash for Christmas call, and it goes for 15 minutes. I've only got halfway through it. I didn't watch it all, but that's a really good thing that you could watch and send out to those people. It goes for 15 minutes. So, most people can spare 15 minutes if they're kind of interested in earning some extra money leading into Christmas. So yeah, just really try and change that mindset from thinking it's coming into Christmas, like people aren't going to be interested, no one's going to have money to buy products. If you flip that around and change your mindset, then your business is just going to keep going like it does every other month. But the good thing is, come January, February, we can really smash it out, because we've got the program, we've got all of that, and people are feeling shitty because they've eaten and drank so much over Christmas, and that's when we can really promote the program as well. But definitely just keep that momentum going. You don't want to stop and start. So hopefully that kind of covers that. I'll just check in the chat group. Is there any other questions in here? Come from the heart space, and people can tell that. And if you change it around so that it's not about you, it just makes it so much easier. Like Kira was saying today, when she gets scared and does talks and things like that, flick it around, go, this isn't about me. Like, if I can inspire one person to, jump into this business and help change their life, or jump onto the product and help them with their health issues that they might be having, then our job's done. It's not about us. And you could schedule some posts too, Marie. That's a good idea when you actually have internet. So that would be great to be able to do that. Do you know how to do that? Have you got Buffer or?
Yeah, I've got Buffer, so I'll do that. Yep, that's easy.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thank you. Good idea.
And with tips to expand your network, what I would really recommend, and this is just from me, and I'm sure some of you other girls might have some ideas as well, but I built my business probably 95% of my business was through social media, because I felt comfortable doing that. I wasn't a really confident person at the beginning, going out having those conversations with people about this. So what I would recommend, Hayley, and for other girls who want to kind of build their network and stuff, is I got obsessed. I had a couple of months where I had on a bit of a mission, and I would add 5 people every day to Facebook. So Hayley, maybe you could do that. Obviously you don't want to be adding just strangers, but maybe some mutual friends that you can click on just to build it that way, because then when you're doing your posts and things like that, it's a really easy way just to be getting out there to more people. So I'm not sure how many friends you have on Facebook or anything at the moment, but yeah, if that's something that you would be interested in doing, I definitely recommend that to whoever. And just get obsessed with that process of every single day just adding. Like, I remember I was camping with Trace down at I don't know, Coffs Harbour or something in the September holidays, not this September but the one before, and I wanted to hit 1,000 friends on Facebook, and I think I was up to like 990, and we only had hours to go. And you can ask her, because that was my goal for the end of the month, to have 1,000 followers. I was like sitting there for hours, just like, she's like, can you have a drink now and get away from it? So if you set yourself some goals, you know, and achieve them, it's only little goals. Like, it's probably not a really, really high paying activity, but it's going to help you get out there to more people. And that could be a good thing for you, Hayley, too, because like obviously you're getting more and more confident every month, and you probably are confident now going out having those conversations with people, or more confident than you were. But it's an easy way that you can just, you know, add mutual friends to Facebook. So I definitely recommend that. Also add, I don't know how many mums groups you're in, or, you know, health and fitness groups or whatever, but I would try and add, and just add value in there. Like, you don't want to go in and spam them and, you know, post all about Juice Plus or anything like that, but comment when people are asking questions and stuff, and if you have some answers to help them out, get your name known in those pages. I would recommend not adding yourself to like 20 pages and just like putting in some value once a month. Just go kind of smaller. So maybe add yourself to 5 pages that you have interest in. And then each week you can kind of add value into those pages so that your name gets recognized, and you can comment and help people out. And then you could post a recipe, you know, that you've cooked for the kids and they really loved it, that somebody else might like, and just do it that way and build relationships. And then, you know, you could message someone if they've been commenting on a post for you over the last couple of weeks or something, and just message them and say thank you for, you know, your support, and start a little conversation with them. And you never know where it could end up, because, you know, this business is all about building relationships. It's not going out and hunting people down, and we all know that. We've heard it a million times. So I think it's just all about, yeah, having that rapport and building those relationships with people.
Can I add to that, Tenika? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Hayley, when I saw your comment before, and I was cooking dinner, but I was just going to say to you as well, is we've spoken about it a little bit before, but definitely think about your daycare teachers and your daycare, any of the mums that you bump into at daycare, because you can kind of search for them and find them. Like before this business, no way in hell I would have added anyone from daycare to Facebook. But I walked in there this morning. I've got 4 customers are daycare teachers of mine now, and that's because I added one, and then I'd sort of comment on her things, and I'd add another one, and then one of them's just left the centre, so I've added her today, and I'm going to say to her, I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye to you, and add her as a friend. She now lives in Harvey Bay. But just to, yeah, you once you add a couple of them in that little network, then you start to add more and more. Same with the daycare mums with birthday parties and stuff like that. Because they are people that see you and are familiar with you as well.
Yeah, cool. Exactly. Yeah, and I think you've just got to like find the reason, like whether it's daycare or whether it's whatever. If you've got that in the back of your mind, it's like, oh, I might add her to Facebook, you know, I might it doesn't matter if you don't really know them or if you've just met them. I don't really care now. Like, I had someone message me the other day, and she accepted my friend request. And she's like, how do I actually know you? Like, I accepted the request, but why did you send me a friend request? And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I better go back and see what mutual friends we had and do a bit of stalking on her page so that I, could let her know that we had mutual friends, and she actually lived in Foster all those years ago. So I didn't actually know her as such. But yeah, people are fine with that. Like, and if they're not fine with it, they're not going to accept your friend request, and that's totally fine as well. Adding value in mums groups. Yep, that's all. So the last question, before anyone else might have some other questions, was keeping yourselves accountable. So I know Tony struggles with this, and we probably all do at certain times. We know what we have to do. We know what the high paying activities are, but we just don't do it. And I think that just comes down to how much of a priority is this, how clear is your vision, what you want from this business. If you've got some goals that you've set that you need to be doing this every single day to hit those goals. You need to be inspired from within. Like, yeah, it's awesome when we get calls from Kira and Sharon and, heaps of other people that we're so lucky. I think, are one of the biggest companies that we have so many of our leaders who just invest so much into us. Like, Linda and Adam and Kira could probably walk away from this business right now, but they don't want to, because they have a passion. They have that flame from within them that they just want to help as many people as they can have the same experience that they've had. And I think when you're so passionate and you have the desire for it, you just know that you've got to get to work every single day if you want to create this. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you're not treating it like a business and you're not being serious about it, then it's just going to be a hobby, and that's fine. Like, if a lot of people are happy making $500 a month, but your pay is a reflection of the amount of work you're putting in and the amount of people that you're helping, whether it be with the team or with the product. So if you're not happy with that $500 landing in your bank account, and you've had $300 to $500 every month for the last year, what do you need to do to help that grow? You need to grow yourself to grow your pay, right? So you need to step out of your comfort zone, get to work on yourself, whether it's like self-development stuff, whether you've got some fears that you need to face and get over, whether you need to be more organised with your time management, whether you need to get out of your head, whatever that might be, you just have to do it if you're at that plateau, because that's the only way you're going to grow your paycheck. And I'm sure there's quite a few girls on here that really, really have learnt that over the last 6 months, that, you have to just get out of your head. And if you're frustrated with yourself, then that's a good sign. Frustration is good, because it's a sign that you're ready to step up. You're ready to go to that next level. You're sick of playing safe, or you're sick of just sitting in your own little sandpit and thinking, I wish, but not really having anything. And if you have a DMO, or it's really, really important to have a schedule or a DMO or something like that. Tony, I know I talked to you about this and you said that you don't have one, but that was a while ago, so hopefully it's changed a little bit now. But if you don't have a DMO, like a daily method of operation of what you need to be doing every single day in your business, how fast does a day go? Especially if you've got kids or you're working, the day just flies, and you might not get anything done in your Juice Plus business if you don't have it scheduled in. And then it's oh well, I'm too exhausted now, I'll do twice as much tomorrow. I was going to follow up with 5 people, but I didn't. So tomorrow I'll follow up with 10. And then the same thing happens. And before you know it, a week's gone by. How can you look at your grids or whatever you use right now and be really, really honest with yourself and say, how many people have I reached out to so far this week, in the last 7 days? And if it's not more than probably 5, I would be saying that's why your business isn't growing, because you're not having those conversations. Yes, you might be getting on training every week, you know, that's awesome. You're really comfortable doing all those safe little things that, you know, you feel like you're working in your business, but you're kind of not. Because you need to be honest with yourself and go, okay, that's it. Yeah, reality check. In the last 7 days, I can't even think of one person that I've reached out to, whether it be direct message, whether it be running into someone at the shops, you know, that's why your business isn't growing. It's not where you want to be. So I think it's do whatever works for you. Like, I used to swear by the grid, and I would always like rave about the grid, because for me, when I first started, I would just scroll through Messenger to see who I needed to follow up with. And that was wasting time. Like, I was working 5 days a week then as well. And it was a time waster. Whereas if you've got the grid, it's one bit of paper, you know exactly what conversations you're having with who and where you're up to with that. But now I think the business activity tracker is really good. Like, I love it. It works for me. Same kind of thing. It's all on one bit of paper, and you can see where you're up to with everyone. And if you've got, like, if you have a look at it and you haven't filled anything in from like a week ago, it's like, shit, okay, I need to get to work. Like, I haven't had any conversations with anyone about the product or the business for a week. That's a quarter of the month already gone that you've kind of wasted. So I think if you kind of have that DMO every day, whether it be just for 10 minutes, if you're working and you don't have much time and your kids get up at like the crack of dawn, which I remember my girls used to always do that, especially leading into summer when it gets so light so early. Try and set yourself, just even if it's 15 minutes, where you can go to work on yourself a little bit, listen to a 5-minute whoever you know relate to and that you like. I love Tony Robbins at the moment. Listen to something of him for 5 minutes, and then look at your DMO. And if you write your DMO down the night before, or if you've got an hour on a Sunday night or something, where you can really sit down. I know for me, I feel so organised, and I have such a better week if I sit down for an hour on a Sunday night. And just really schedule in what's important to me. Like Kira said today, put in the big rocks are the most important things for you. Like, if you're feeling like you're drowning at the moment because you haven't got any time for yourself and you're trying to juggle kids and work and your JP business, then put that into your schedule for that week. Like, schedule in 2 hours on a Saturday morning. I don't know, go for a run, go for coffee with friends, go to the movies, do whatever that might be, because you need to fill your cup up before you can be there for everyone else, for your team and whatever that might be. And also, it comes across on Facebook as well. Like, it's funny how do I kind of, when you're feeling really positive, or when somebody else, one of your friends or teamies are feeling really positive, you can sense that on their post, even just in their wording and stuff. You can really sense that, wow, they've got that vision this week, or they seem to be really inspired or whatever. And then other posts might just be like, oh, is she all right, kind of thing, you know? So if you're filling your cup up, you're going to come across as such a more positive, inspiring person. And that's what we want to attract into our business. Because we all know your vibe attracts your tribe. And would you follow you? Like, have a look at your posts, go through your Facebook and see what kind of vibe you're putting out there and what kind of feeling it is. And if it's not something that you personally would be inspired to, then how can you change that? What can you listen to? What can you go to work on that's going to help improve that? So hopefully that helps. So a schedule is really, really important, Tony, especially because I know you were one of the ones that were asking that question. And if you go to Kmart, get one of those. I like the one where you have a week to a page, because then you can see at one glance what's coming up for that week and schedule in the important stuff first, and then schedule in where you can do half an hour on your Juice Plus business, where you can do, Typo has some really nice ones too, and they're much cheaper than Kiki K. But even Kmart have some really, I love some of their stuff there at the moment.
I've actually got one, but even when I put Juice Plus in it, I'm obviously not doing the right thing. Plus,
You know,
in my scheduled time.
so you're putting it, you're scheduling stuff in, but then in that scheduled time, you're not doing anything like that's high paying.
I am, but I'm wasting my time clearly on shit I shouldn't be doing.
Okay, so what can you do to help? What can you do to fix that? Is it wasting time by scrolling? Is that what you're doing, scrolling on Facebook instead of working, or?
No, probably honestly, I'm doing things that I'm comfortable with and not getting out of my comfort zone, doing what I need to be doing.
Yeah. So would that be listening to recordings or something instead of starting conversations with new people?
No, it would be probably starting conversations with new people opposed to going back on conversations from previous or something like that.
Okay. So I think if you're conscious of what you are doing and what you should be doing, as soon as that thought gets into your head, stop doing what that is, go, okay, stop. Like I was conscious of that scrolling on Facebook when I go to do a post or something, and then you just get caught up, I better click on this, or you get a notification, and before you know it, like an hour's gone and you've done nothing. It's like, oh shit, there goes that hour. So I think now that you're conscious of that, Tony, pull yourself up for it. Like go, okay, no, that's it. I'm not doing that. I need to get focused. I need to follow up with those people or whatever that might be. You are good at having those conversations with and starting new conversations. But if you feel that your follow up is the bit that you're lacking, then do that first. It's like Eat That Frog or something like that. They say that. Do the stuff that you're really uncomfortable with first. And you're going to feel so good about it, even if it only takes 10, 15 minutes, and then you can go and do the other things. But do that thing that you're really uncomfortable with first.
I was going to say, Tanika, I've been practicing what I'm preaching this last week, and I was having a bit of a chat with Hayley earlier, saying how off the back of the Gold Coast event and the Melbourne event last night and a few other things, the Melbourne event tonight, I've been on a bit of a mission that started last week, actually reaching out to people. I don't want to say for the first time, because I do it, and that's how I've got to, how Lauren came on board and all the rest of it, but I've been going more deliberate with it. And it's interesting. So a cousin of mine, who I never thought in a million years would be interested in the business, is actually part of another network marketing business that she joined up through another girl who I helped her get that particular client in real estate. So they're two now part of a network marketing business together. So that's a bit of a bummer. Yeah. And then today, one girl goes, oh, I was actually going to sign up with Ange Simpson. I didn't realise you were doing it. So that sucked. And then also there was one more. Oh, and then two others that I reached out today that I thought would never in a million years want to hear anything about it, but I thought, fuck, I'm just going to mention it. Both said, yeah, sure, send me the link. I've been keen to see what you're up to.
Oh, awesome.
So,
yeah.
Like, fuck, get over it, Schweitzer. Yeah. Like, seriously, somebody else has had the balls and they're now selling oil, for God's sake, and this girl sells real estate and she's like top of real estate. And I said, I didn't think you'd be into something like this. And she goes, I just want to get a Saturday back in my life. I can, it doesn't matter how much I work and make. I always have to work Saturdays. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't say anything sooner. So
I know it happens to all of us, but it's a lesson, right? It's
a big lesson.
Yeah, and don't presume that this isn't for anyone. If you presume, oh no, they seem really happy, they've got a lot of money, whatever, like you can't presume that. Yeah, they might have a lot of money, but they're trading time for money, right? And like your friend,
and Kylie just mentioned then, I heard real estate agents are a great prospect, 100%. So this chick, honestly, she's number 1 or 2 in Harcourts for Queensland month after month after month. And she said that exact same thing. She was just like, I don't have time. She has a home office and an office, and she's got 2 kids. And she's like, she's always posting photos of her working with her kid on a lap. And I'm like, you know, there's only so much you can do with that. But she's doing appraisals at 8 o'clock at night and all the rest of it. And I was like, damn, I'm so dumb. My freaking cousin-in-law.
Yeah, that's it. Don't let it happen again.
No, I won't.
But
it's been a good wake-up call. But to be honest with you, a lot of the reach outs that I did today were for the event tonight and tomorrow, but during the week as well, have been really soft approaches, just saying, hey, look, I don't know exactly what the script says. I don't know if this is something you'd be interested in, but I couldn't help but think, you know, this is what it's helped me with, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I am Adam. Just call me Adam.
Call me Adam.
Call me Adam. But, you know, what have we got? Like, seriously, what's the worst that can happen? The worst, the absolute worst that I've worked out that can happen is somebody takes me on Facebook, and quite frankly, I don't give 2 shits.
Yeah, totally. And
it's taken me 18 months to be able to say that out loud, but
it's such a good feeling when you get to that place within yourself and within your business. It's like, I don't care their opinions or whatever. I'm on a mission. I know exactly where I need to go, and I don't give a shit if they unfollow me or if they don't agree with what I'm doing. Like, I really don't care. They're not going to help me.
Can I just add there, a funny thing happened with me. No one has ever bagged the business that I know of, and that's blocked me because I don't know. But my brother, every single time I seen him, used to say to me, I love seeing what the kids are doing on Facebook, but I wish you'd jam that business up your ass, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to block you. So anyway, about a month ago, I blocked him from my Facebook page, and I love him to bits, but God, it was a good feeling. So I thought, you're the only person that ever whinges to me, and you're my brother. So see ya.
We've got a best mate like that, and we just
we block her.
To be honest with you, because there's a few of us. So Hayley, Beck, Katie, and I, you know, and another good friend, Kate Golle. We're all good friends with a lot of our friends, and so I know Beck and I deliberately block a crew of our mates.
About 20 people.
Yeah, so that they're not seeing it over and over and over when they're point blank sort of being neg-ferreted about it at the beginning. And so we just don't give 2 hoots now. But, totally get it, Tony. My brother was like that at first as well, and now he takes the product.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good.
I was actually also just going to give a little bit of insight, if it's okay, Tanika, about the business, and also talking about choosing your heart.
Awesome.
If that's okay, I'll only be a minute or so. But today I was actually sitting in on the conference call, and I've started deliberately doing it from my desk at work, which is in a share office. So there's 100 people literally sitting around me, and so people are now always seeing me on Zoom, talking to people and being all happy. And I've deliberately started, and I just pack up and leave whenever I want anyway, but now I just shut my laptop and see you later, like pretty much just piss bolt off. Whereas now I'm actually deliberately shutting my computer, going, all right, guys, I'm checking out. And today I said, I'm checking out for the week. I'm going to work from home for the rest of the week, or I'm going to the Goldie tomorrow. And they're like, oh, you've got it right. You've got it easy. And I was like, yep, well, the joys of, doing what we do. Yeah. And people are now hearing my conversations and stuff. And it was interesting as I was leaving today, the guy who has always seems to be sitting opposite me now, he sort of looked over and he goes, what is it that you actually do? I know you do recruitment, but what's this other thing that you do? And because he heard me on the phone to an old client who called me today, and she's like, oh, do you still sell golf gloves? I said, oh, no, I don't actually anymore, but I can give you the number of the lady who does. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she goes, oh, what are you doing now? And I didn't say anything about the recruitment. I just said, oh, I've actually got an online business now where I actually help other people work from home. She's like, oh, God, that sounds good, doesn't it? I was like, yeah, it does. She goes, oh, okay, thanks. And I didn't want to get in the conversation. Like, I didn't let that flow. But because I hung up the phone, the guy then goes to me, what is it that you do? And so now, and I just went, oh, yeah, I help people start an online business from home, and it's really cool. And, that's why I can leave most days at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And he's like, yeah, right. I went, okay, see ya. And I left it at that because...
Yeah, perfect.
I sit opposite him, but it's, you know, I've been sitting opposite him for 3 weeks now because we all wrote, like, people come and go. But I kind of gave myself a pat on the back for that one because usually I wouldn't say anything, or I'd just say, oh, yeah, I'm in recruitment.
Yeah.
So I think it's, little baby steps and just getting out there a bit because people are actually really curious.
Yeah. And it like you said, you wanted to pat yourself on the back. Like, it makes you feel so good when you can walk away and go, yes, like, you know, I killed that conversation. Or there's many times where you go, oh my God, I totally stuffed that up, but that's okay. Like, you know, but
Yeah. And also, I think I'm also working in this particular office. It's awesome. It's a bunch of entrepreneurs who are all really, you know, there's what we call those glasses. You can see everything. Virtual reality. People sitting there with virtual reality glasses, and there's small law firms, and there's you know, there's all different sorts of businesses on there. There's IT businesses and everything. But the funny thing is, these guys and girls, you know, they're constantly complaining that, you know, their businesses might have been valued at 20 mil, for example. Like, this is the sort of stuff we're talking about. But the business has been valued at that, but they can't even pull a wage, you know, and they've got to pay for staff, and they've got to, you know, they're in a share office, and they're stressed about how they can pay for their office space and all this sort of stuff. And here we are, we've got this opportunity where we've paid $165 that can potentially earn, you know, you look at the Cura and and if anybody heard Adam on his thing tonight, he openly said that what he makes now in a month, he would make over a year in his traditional business with 30 staff. You know, we've got that opportunity where these guys are spending millions to try and start these businesses up and get finance from all these banks and stuff, and we can do what most of them only dream of $165. So it's pretty interesting sitting in that space, actually.
And I think that's what you've just got to do. You just make the most of every situation. And if it's in the back of your mind pretty much all the time, then when that opportunity does come up, then you can put it out there. And even if it's just planting those little seeds, and like you said, Trace, you didn't push on with too much more with that conversation with that guy, because you know you're going to see him again next week anyway, and it's all about just planting those seeds and stuff. Whereas if it was a stranger, you might have tried to get a little bit further with them by adding them to Facebook or something like that, by saying, you know, I can send you some info if you're interested to check out.
Yeah, well, I'm going to plant that seed next week, because today I found out that he's got a wife and 2 kids at home that don't work, that the wife doesn't work. So I'm chipping away.
Yeah. Has anyone else got any little shares that they would like to share before we jump off? No, so hopefully that's...
I'm going to leave my camera off, but if you get a chance, we didn't jump on tonight to watch the live Melbourne event with Adam and also Scott Harris, do it. It's incredible. Okay. There's no swearing, guys, this time, if you were a little bit offended on the Monday night Zoom. But, yeah, I was just there. Energy in the room was next level.
Cool.
There's a lot of shit happening down here at the moment, which is awesome.
Were you at the event, Kerry?
Sorry?
So you actually went to the event?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm in Melbourne for the week
in Melbourne. Yeah.
Yeah. So as it turns out, it kind of wigged me out a little bit. I'm literally staying 1 block away from where they held it.
Oh, so you had no excuse.
No excuse, but it was just ironic. Like,
yeah,
I don't know,
crazy.
Call it universe, whatever.
Yeah,
but
meant to be.
Yeah, it's definitely a good training. Good stories on there as well.
Awesome. I definitely watched that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And it sounds like there was a fair few people there.
Yeah. They filled like a conference room, and there were still people standing up. So. Yeah, cool.
Did you take anyone with you?
I didn't, which was unfortunate, but circumstantial. But yeah, it is what it is.
Cool. I definitely watched that. Okay, ladies, if we don't have anyone else who wants to share anything or chat about anything, we might all sign off for the night.